to a place where music falls and fills up everything. Falls and fills up everything. Though it might be a long time. Though it might be a long time. I know it's gonna be alright. I know it's gonna be alright. 'Cause we've already started to sing. 'Cause we've already started to sing. See the whole thing again, call and response. We are going. We are going to a place where music, to a place where music falls and fills up everything. Falls and fills up everything. Though it might be a long time. Though it might be a long time. I know it's gonna be alright. I know it's gonna be alright. 'Cause we've already started to sing. 'Cause we've already started to sing. I'll invite you to rise in body or spirit if you're so moved, and to sing out with all of our music this evening in whatever way works for you. If the words elude you and you just want to hum along, that's okay. If what you need is to not sing, to just sit in silence and soak in the sound of the room, that's okay too. And if what you need is to rock out like you are alone in the car with the radio, if what you need is to dance in the aisles and try out some new harmonies, this is your night to do it. We are going. We are going to a place where music falls and fills up everything. Though it might be a long time. I know it's gonna be alright. 'Cause we've already started to sing. A little louder, we are going. We are going to a place where music falls and fills up everything. Though it might be a long time, I know it's gonna be alright. 'Cause we've already started to sing. Can we try it in 11-part harmony? We are going to a place where music falls and fills up everything. Though it might be a long time. I know it's gonna be alright. 'Cause we've already started to sing. Two more times, two more. We are going to a place where music falls and fills up everything. Though it might be a long time, it's gonna be alright. 'Cause we've already started to sing. We are going to a place where music falls and fills up everything. Though it might be a long time, I know it's gonna be alright. 'Cause we've already started to sing. 'Cause we've already started to sing. Yes, we've already started to sing. Amen. Let's take a deep breath together. You may remain risen for some more singing.
That was very beautiful. Our next song today is a song I wrote called That's Okay. That's become kind of a sanctuary staple. If you don't know all the words, there's a lot of very repetitive singing of that's okay, it's okay. But feel free to sing along as much as you would like. Sometimes I go so slow, I feel I'm stuck. Sometimes I fall so low, I feel I'm stopped, and that's okay, and that's okay, and that's okay, and that's okay. Sometimes I'm rising fast, I feel I'm flying. Sometimes I'm right on task, it's all aligning, and that's okay, and that's okay, and that's okay, and that's okay. 'Cause today is what it needs to be. Another day is coming soon, and I know that there is room. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay to be afraid. So, when I feel so low and I am stopped, I just need to know I am who I am, these thoughts are not, and that's okay, 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 and that's okay. And that's okay. Let's hum.
What incredible starting music. We'll be doing our chalice lighting. If you are joining us via Zoom tonight, this is a moment if you have a candle you would like to light, or if you'd like to take a deep breath as you're doing the chalice lighting, that was more than welcomed. The door is open, of hope is still open. Things are not what they might be. We still believe, or many of us do, what the Exodus first taught. First, that wherever you live, it is probably Egypt. Second, that there is a better place, a world more attractive, a promised land. And third, that the way to the land is through the wilderness. There is no way to get from here to there except by joining together and marching. Michael Walter, Exodus and Revolution.
Thank you so much, Rhea. Welcome all to Sanctuary Boston, a community of vibrant worship and real connection, grounded in Unitarian Universalism and open to seekers of all kinds. My name is Matt, and I'm the Director of Community Life here for Sanctuary. Tonight is the first day of Passover for our Jewish siblings in faith. And so tonight's service is an exploration of lessons of Passover called Courage in the Wilderness. So we're going to dive into the story of Passover a little bit. And instead of having one community member share a bit of their own spiritual journey, as we normally do, we're going to take some time to invite each of us to reflect with those around us or with those in the chat box about some of the themes of Passover, specifically about where we might be stuck in the narrows, what sources of love and liberation we can call upon, and how we can find joy even when we're not yet at the promised land, even when we're still maybe feeling lost in the wilderness these days. And we're going to have some extra music to go as well. So I invite you into that spirit of finding liberation, even in times in times of inequity, even in times of justice, as the story of Exodus speaks to. For now, though, let's welcome each other into this space, which is made sacred by your presence here with our words of welcome. I'm going to ask Jalen, who's hosting our spring craft group online, to read the words of welcome.
Whether you go to church on Sunday morning or light candles on Friday nights, whether you've been hurt by religion, saved by it, or some of both, whether you're brand new to spiritual community or a seasoned seeker, whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are in your journey, we welcome you. So now we're going to take some time to introduce each other, welcome each other into this space. Make sure to say hi to someone new. Don't forget to greet the camera and say hello to our folks on Zoom. And Zoom folks, make sure to jump into the chat box and say hello and where you're joining from.
You to come on back and carry on your conversations with your neighbors just when we have concluded. So if you want to come on back. Hello, friends. All right. Our first reading this evening comes from Rabbi Michael Schwartz, speaking of what it means to be celebrating the Passover story in a time of an ongoing global pandemic. The Hebrew word for Egypt, Mitzrayim, comes from the root tsar, which means narrow. In effect, Mitzrayim means the narrow places, or places of restriction and bondage. The biblical story of leaving Egypt has often been interpreted to mean psychologically freeing ourselves from those things which constrict or hold us back. This year, we are all living in Mitzrayim. Our freedom has been severely curtailed, and we are burdened with the anxiety and fear of these continuing uncertain times. We have some questions for reflection for you. Where do you feel stuck in narrow places this year? Where are your people, your family, or your community stuck? We invite you to turn to one or two neighbors and share. You can also silently reflect to yourself. Our friends on Zoom, if you want to put your thoughts in the chat box, you're welcome to do so. We'll give you 4 minutes and we'll come back in music. Where do you feel stuck in narrow places?
All right, let's wrap up our thoughts in the next few seconds. So we'll be doing a song in response to each of the different readings and questions, and this one is called I Am Sending You Light, which I think is sort of a way to send light to the places where you feel stuck. As always, please feel free to close your eyes and listen, sing along, hum along, whatever feels good to you.
I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter where you go, no matter where you've been, you'll never walk alone. I feel you deep within. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter what you feel or what you choose to show, I'm always there for you. And so I want you to know that I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I walk the path with you. Go slow, dear, don't hurry. I'll go just like you need to go. There is no need to worry. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love.
Our next reading is an excerpt from the book of Exodus, chapter 3. Now Moses was tending the flock of his father-in-law, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. God called to him from within the bush, "Moses, take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." The Lord said, "I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now, go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt."
And these words are adapted from Marge Piercy in her poem, Magid. The courage to let go of the door, the handle, the courage to leave the place whose language you learned as early as your own, whose customs, however dangerous or demeaning, bind you like a halter you have learned to pull inside to move your load. The land fertile with the blood spilled on it, the roads mapped and annotated for survival. The courage to walk out of the pain that is known into the pain that cannot be imagined. Mapless, walking into the wilderness, going barefoot with a canteen into the desert. My people are all born of wanderers with shoes under our pillows. Tonight we honor those people who changed, those who chose the desert over bondage, who walked into the strange and became strangers, and gave birth to children who could look down on them standing on their shoulders for having been slaves. We honor those who let go of everything but freedom, who ran, who revolted, who fought, who became other by saving themselves.
The Exodus story of liberation begins with God speaking to Moses from a bush that was burning but not consumed. It shocked Moses out of his daily routines and called him to a higher purpose. Whether or not God surprises us with miracles, we can find inspiration that moves us out of our comfortable routines and expands our understanding of what's possible beyond the narrow places.
What are the sources of love and inspiration that challenge you to imagine new possibilities and find your purpose? Where do we find the strength to leave the familiar and begin the journey toward liberation?
We'll give you another 4 minutes to chat with one or a couple people nearby or to share in the chat your answer to these questions. What are the sources of love and inspiration that challenge you to imagine new possibilities and find your purpose? Where do we find the strength to leave the familiar and begin that journey toward liberation?
All right, well, join back together for song. Our next song, we're going to go through the words first because they are not in English. So please repeat after me. Ozi.
Ozi.
Vazimrat ya.
Vizimrat ya.
Let's do all that part. Ozi vazimrat ya.
Ozi vizimrat ya.
Vyahi li.
Vyahi li.
Li shua.
Li shua.
Let's do that. Second section. Vyahi li.
Vyahi li.
Li shua.
Li shua.
So we're actually going to start singing the melody on Yada Dies. That means you can sing any version of different syllables or Yada Dies that you want on it, just to kind of get the melody a little bit at first. Yada. Come on, yada dies. Yada, 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 sit down.
Next comes my favorite part of the story, the part with the drums. You all know the part of the story where the Israelites pass through the sea, where Charlton Heston raises up his mighty staff and a wind comes and it parts the waters. And once they arrive on the other side, the Egyptian army is wiped out in the waves behind them, and the Israelites are safe on the other side at last. And they throw this huge killer party. The women get out their drums, Miriam gets out her tambourine, and they sing and they dance all night long in celebration. It's called the Song at the Sea, and the words that they sang are the words that we just sang. Oziv Zimratya, Vayali Lishua. My strength balanced with the song of God will be my salvation. That part of the Hebrew Bible, the words are structured differently. They're structured next to each other like two columns of water that part the way to freedom. What's incredible about this Song at the Sea, though, about this celebration, is that they had drums. First of all, that, as Joanna says here in our reading, she says there's this hidden wonder in the story that Miriam and the women have timbrels with them. Who, when fleeing for their lives, thinks to pack a timbrel? I would. Drummers. May this inspire us, Joe says, even in the moments of greatest uncertainty and urgency and fear, to still plan for joy. One of the incredible things about this celebration is that they hadn't arrived at the promised land. They weren't there. In fact, they knew that the promised land they were striving for was beyond the horizon that they could see, and it was a place that many of them would never arrive. But they celebrated the fact that they were on that journey, and they were making that journey together, in covenant with each other and with their God, marching towards that land of liberation, even if it was beyond the horizon they can see. So we invite you to reflect now. If you are feeling lost in the wilderness these days, living in times of dramatic and unpredictable headlines, feeling like maybe you're still stuck in some narrow places, if you are feeling like you are in the wilderness, how will you still plan for joy, even when liberation is beyond the horizon? I invite you to take another 3 or 4 minutes to chat with someone nearby or share your answers in the chat. How do you plan for joy even when you're feeling lost in the wilderness and liberation is still beyond the horizon?
Really have anything to say about this one. This one is by Pat Humphreys, or Emma's Revolution, right? Cool. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving proudly. Gonna keep on moving proudly. Gonna keep on moving proudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on singing loudly. Gonna keep on singing loudly. Gonna keep on singing loudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving forward. Gonna keep on moving forward. Gonna keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Gonna keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Good dancing song. I'm Martha. I'm a member of your sanctuary offering team. And this is the time in our service where we share some of the bounty of our lives with others. Around the country right now, our trans siblings and community members are under attack. Your offering team has put together a series that over the next few weeks will be sharing our plate with organizations that are fighting against horrific anti-trans legislation in key states and providing direct support to trans folks, particularly young people in these states. Tonight's offering will be shared with the organization Add the Words, which is based in Idaho, and that our sanctuary community members and dear friends Timothy and Shia are connected to. The words for this ask come from me and also Timothy and Shia. Add the Words is an organization that cares first and foremost about the trans community in Idaho. They spend their money and energy in building community and creating spaces that can feel safer for trans people, particularly young people. Last night, the governor of Idaho signed a law criminalizing providers for providing gender-affirming care to people under the age of 18. Providers now face up to 10 years in prison. After hundreds of calls and testimonies to the governor, Add the Words and other allied groups were able to stop a bill that criminalizes drag and bans trans students from using the bathroom of their choice. After and during the hearing, this organization held community spaces that were focused on comfort and giving people a voice. They allowed people to lift up their testimony and share their stories, even the stories that couldn't be shared in the hearing. They provided suicide prevention support and trained therapists. Timothy says, "It was the most focused on the people actually hurting community space that I have ever been in." This kind of care and mutual aid is salvific right now and will continue throughout this proceedings of legislation and after. We want to support this organization right now as they react to this new legislation and as they figure out how to grow resources and a network to get youth across state lines to access healthcare in other places. As a community, we affirm that trans people are divine. Here and everywhere, now and always, in every time and place, no matter what. And one of the ways that we affirm this truth is by using our resources in support of trans folks where they need it. Tonight's offering will now be given and received. You can donate on PayPal or Venmo. The links will be in the chat box online and up here on the screen in person. If you have written a joy or a sorrow card, we will come around to collect those now. If you want to, there is still time as well. We'll collect them during the music. Thank you.
We rest in this love.
We arrive together, bringing all the joys and sorrows of our complex lives with us this evening. Some of us arrive here wrestling difficult things, feeling the pain of a broken world around us and within us. Some of us arrive full of blessings, brimming with gratitude. From those who are joining us here in person tonight, I have these to share. Heather Concannon brings us a joy. Heather says, "Today it was announced that I am the candidate to be the next settled minister at the Theodore Parker UU Church in West Roxbury. So excited for this next chapter, and also feeling sadness in leaving the congregation in Sherborne I've served for the past 9 years." Leo and Mara share joys with us. They say, "We're so happy that our grandma and grandpa are visiting us for 2 weeks from Canada." Laura and Matt are sharing a joy. They say, "We're getting married." To celebrate the ongoing joy of intertwining our lives, we're planning a wedding of ritual, vows, and community for this coming October. This is also Laura's 20th anniversary with her husband, Tom, and so our celebration will be a double party, celebrating Laura and Tom's milestone anniversary as well. Congratulations. I love you, Laura. Ashley shares a joy. Ashley says, "My sister is getting married on Saturday, wishing her all the love in the world." Karishma shares a mixture. They say, "I'm so excited to announce that I have achieved aspirant status with the Ministerial Fellowship Committee and will be starting at Union Theological Seminary in the fall. Sorrow to be leaving Boston and Sanctuary, but looking forward to tuning in online." There you are.
There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding
And we now invite those of you joining online to share any joys or sorrows you're carrying with you in the chat box. I'll share them out loud here from the microphone, so if you'd like me to keep it anonymous, please message me directly. As you may see me in the chat, I am Bran Lennox. Susie shares a joy. My mom finished cancer treatment and has been declared disease-free. Poppy shares a joy. Upcoming trip with my daughter, whose mental health is good enough for a trip. We'll give those online just another space of a few breaths. Here we go. Ed shares a joy with a concern. My brother goes public tomorrow evening about being trans. Family and friends and some coworkers have known for several months. He's being interviewed by a local news channel. I'm happy for him that he has come out, concerned about him going public because he's a cop. Nathan shares a joy. Loving all the signs of springs here, ospreys in the skies, flowers blooming, frogs singing, twilight walks with friends to see woodcock courtships. EB also shares a joy about spring weather beginning to appear and beckons us outside more often. And EB adds that Drew is joining us in that joy.
There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love.
And won't you join me now in prayer? Presence which weaves itself through many forms, which comes to us in the shape of fire, of a voice, of bread, of a parting sea, of a lover, of a decision, welcome or painful, which arrives as the unexpected when we may not have known to ask or what to ask for. We offer this time in gratitude. Gratitude for spaces of gathering and connection, for the shared meal, whether we are nourished by bread or by presence. Gratitude for being met right where we are. Gratitude for marriages, for unions, for love and family, for new callings and new paths, for spring weather. In the tradition of the ancestors, we also raise our hearts in longing, asking from the depths of our being for intercession, for the help which comes from beyond our own power, for comfort and for release. We hold up our many struggles, those we have shared and those which we keep in sacred silence. We hold these struggles and we release them into the mystery. Presence which shows us the way of liberation, let us remember that the path of liberation is always changing, that we must help each other along the way, that our family with whom we travel is always widening, always embracing a broader truth. Let us venture along that path with the courage of our togetherness, and all along the way, let us never cease to sing. Amen.
Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through.
the time, we'll sing Sanctuary together again one more time. And after that, we'll start to hum it. And we'll get up and light these candles at their tables in the front. And the back? I don't know. And the back. And as you take the taper and pass it to the person next to you, take a moment to see the light in the person in front of you, whether it's flickering or burning bright. So we'll sing Sanctuary one more time together.
Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary
Things are not what they might be.
We still believe, or many of us do, what the Exodus first taught.
First, that wherever you live, it is probably Egypt.
Second, that there is a better place, a world more attractive, a promised land.
And third, that the way to the land is through the wilderness.
There is no way to get from here to there, except by joining together and marching.
All right, we have one more song for you. I feel the current raging around me. Try to summon up my strength once more. I am weary on this journey, afraid I will not reach that distant shore. I cry for help, I feel like I'm sinking. There is no one near me I can see. But there you are in the water with me. You take my hand and guide me graciously. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone I
gentleness within your speech. You reassure me, your love surrounds me, and I know safety is at last within my reach. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath I take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. Dance break. It's an illusion we carry with us as we wade on through the waters of our lives, that we must be strong and hold our own here, but a helping hand will save us by and by. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath I take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn.